Hey guys, Jacqueline here from Sign Jacqueline. In last week's video, I showed you how to make some really cute, easy DIY Valentine's Day decor. And in one of the ending photos, you saw a sign that I made that said, "Loved you yesterday, loved you still, always have, always will." Now, the video last week was far too long for me to include that video in last week's video. So I thought what I would do is bring out another video showing you how I actually create those signs. So make sure that you like this video, share this video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel if this is the sort of stuff that you like. So without further ado, let's get started. So I've decided to do one last project. I really needed a new sign to go in my lounge room. I really didn't. But I decided that I was going to make a new sign that has really special meaning to me. But it's a bit of a Valentine's sign, so it'll be good. This timber here I've got, is just salvage timber. I pulled off the back of a TV cabinet that I am actually repurposing and doing up at the moment. It was a really yellowy sort of stain, which I really didn't like, wasn't my style. So I gave it a bit of a sand and then just gave it a quick stain with a deeper stain. So you still see a bit of the yellow in it, but the majority of it is the deeper stain. So I've already cut out what I'm going to write, what my sign's going to say on vinyl. And I've decided that this sign is going to have stained lettering and a white background. So typically when you do a stencil for a sign, you weed out the letters and then you paint in between. This time, because we want the stain to come through as the writing, we're doing it opposite. So I'm actually going to remove the background of the vinyl and leave the lettering there. So this sign says, "Loved you yesterday, love you still, always have, always will." Now, when I was probably about 8 to 10, my dad got my mum a magnet with the same verse on it. So I've been wanting to make a sign with this on it for ages, and I thought now is the best time to do it. It really is quite special to me. Okay, so I'm just going to pop a bit of transfer tape over the top of it now. Okay, and now I want the sign to run this way, lengthways, and so I'm just going to hover. I'm just going to hover over where I think I might like it. And then rub it on. And then you just remove your tape. Okay, now because it's got grooves in it, what I want to do is think about the placement. So I might just move that wire a bit, because what's going to happen is the paint will get underneath that. So I'm going to spend a minute making sure that it's really pushed down and adhered into those grooves. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the whole piece a coat of clear top coat. This just helps if there's any seepage under the letters. It just helps that seepage is the same color or clear. So if I was painting on a white board, I would paint white over the top of it. If I was painting on a black. But because we can't really put a stain over the top of it, I put a clear over it so that any seepage that might get underneath locks that, and then we have less cleanup to do at the end. So I've already got my brush partly loaded, so I'll just start by doing that. Okay, so it's on the board now, and I've used my heat gun to help it dry. I'm very rustic slash shabby slash farmhouse. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop some wax on the board as a resist for when I'm painting over it. It'll just help when I'm sanding back that white to give it that shabby appearance where it's worn. So I'm just using any wax, but I've got some black wax here so you can see it. And all I'm going to do is run along some of the edges where it would typically get worn. And this, as I said, this will just help when I come through and I sand down the white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply thin coats of paint. We've locked it in with a clear coat, and then we're going to just take paint on a roller, and that'll just help get the majority of the board covered. And you want to do the edges as well. So that's the third coat done. 3 coats. I'm going to let it dry completely, and then I'll come over and give it a sand, and then we'll remove all the letters. Okay, so I've given it a quick sand and just wiped it over, and now it's time to start removing the letters. Okay, so I've got a burnt sienna colour, and I'm just going to come through with a really fine tip brush and paint anywhere that needs to be the colour of the stain. So to finish this sign, I'm just going to pop a bit of hot glue on the back, wrap some twine around the top and the bottom, and then I'll flip it over when the paint is completely dry, the touch-up paint that I just did, and I will nail some rope cord on the back to hang from. If you want to find any of the paint or products that I used today, please hit up the website www.signjacqueline.com.au.